Stan, are you there?
I'm here. I'm ready to go. Thank you so much for having me, Tim. I appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks for coming.
So this is the front side of a short sale that I'm closing on Friday. Cross my fingers. What this this is a house in Palmer, Texas. Tim, do you know where Palmer is?
Not really.
It's about 55 or 60 miles south of Dallas. It's kind of in between, the end of the world and just a little bit back from that. It's kind of out there in the middle of nowhere. And this is really cool because what happened is one of our bird dogs brought this to me. So this is a short sale on a house that I've never seen before. And a bird dog brought it to me. And the man that lives there, the family that lives there now, they're going to end up buying this house. Now, they had a really, really poor credit score. So I found a company through one of our students. He turned me on to a company that's up in Colleyville, Keller area, up in the Dallas-Fort Worth Mid-Cities area. And they're going to do a USDA loan for this house. So they're doing a Department of Agriculture loan because it's out in the country, and the credit scores don't have to be quite as high as they do for like an FHA loan or something like that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that turned out really cool. So the guys that live there, the people that live there have been renting the house, and I bought the house for $115,000, and I'll show you the front half of this HUD. We're still working on the back half, but I sold it for $135,000, and so it looks like it's going to be an okay deal for us. So we'll run through the HUD real quick, and you can see kind of what's going on with this. I got this from the title company this morning. You can see that the contract sales price is $115,000. You can see, let me get to the back page. You can see here that I've got $8,950 worth of settlement charges, and I'll show those to you right now when we cut to a page and cut to the back page. So looking at the second page, this is real fun. Again, I agreed on a price of $115,000. So this FMC Services, that's Corey Boatwright's group out of Oklahoma City, out of Edmond, Oklahoma. And we use them almost exclusively to do our short sales, and I love them. Erica calls me, and she says, man, this is what we're going to do on this house, and I got it worked out in a couple of days, and off we are running. And then my realtor there is Pat Dye up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. She works with Regal Realtors. So what they did is they split the 6% commission on the front end. So there's $3,450 for both of them to do the deal. It's a $6,900 for the agents. Now, as you scroll down, what I did is I wanted the lender to pay for everything, and we're going to adjust this HUD just a little bit toward the end of the week. But you can see here that I've got title insurance that the lender's going to pay for $923. There's document prep, all kind of little notary fees, escrow fees, tax fees, and my title company is in Keller, Texas, which is in between Dallas and Fort Worth. Because of that, we have a messenger fee. They run the stuff back and forth to me, and it turns out real cool. I'm going to close this house from my house. So someone's going to come and knock on my door and sit in my living room. I'm going to sign a few papers, and then they will wire the money to my bank account. So Tim, I'm going to buy, sell, close this house without ever leaving my house. Okay? I mean, how cool is that? That's just way cool, isn't it?
Right, that's pretty cool. So who met up with the BPO agent?
The realtor did.
The realtor did. Good job.
Right, and Pat's done. This is like her third or fourth deal with me, and we've got another 6 or 7 working right now with Pat. And
Gotcha.
So what she's doing now, she now sees what the system is, and she and her daughter are now bringing those short sales to us because they're seeing A, they're easy working with us, and B, that we're going to close the deal and make it happen. Okay, that's what we want to do with those realtors.
Right.
So anyhow, she likes working with us, and we communicate real well together. And she's about my age, and we have fun together. And it's really funny, Tim, that when I close these deals, I send the closer and Pat Dye. I send them both yellow roses. And so they always freak out. They're going like, "Wow, yellow roses!" And that's about the best $120 I can spend. And
right.
So when I ask them if the deal's coming, and I don't ask them how's the deal coming, I ask them, is it roses yet? That's what I email to them, and so they know what that means, So anyhow, this is real neat. I agreed on that 115 price, and Amanda, who's the closer at Lawyers, she told me today that this 633 we have left over leaves us leaves us a price here where the seller is going to get paid $1,700. And that won't happen on a short sale. The bank is not going to let the lender walk out with $1,700. So what I asked Amanda to do today was, why don't you take that 700 and credit my 633 that I have, and then lower the price on the rest of it. And she said, okay, that's what we're going to do. So I'm really going to buy the place at like 113.3 or something like that.
Right.
And sold it at 135. So anyhow, that's my short sale deal, and that's how it all worked, and it's all fun.
Okay, and how did you find this bird dog?
Basically, we sent out an email through our virtual assistant looking for some bird dogs in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he called me.
Okay, cool.
And it's really funny because this is John Susi and I, we sold those townhomes back in January. Those were his properties too.
Oh,
So
okay,
he's
cool.
brought us a bunch of deals. Yeah, he's a good guy. Brought us a bunch of deals.
Right. That's good. Okay. Yeah, that's that USDA loan. That's a really, really good tip there. I've heard it's working well, but it's good to like see it in action. I haven't done any loan with the USDA, right?
Right.
I haven't done any loans with the USDA yet, so that's really good. Now, is that only applicable to the low income family, or anybody can get a USDA type loan?
I'm not really sure. I think you have to be a certain distance from the city and certain, like in a country kind of area, farm kind of loan.
Could you do me a favor and get a hold of that mortgage company and let's invite him or her onto one of these webinars to
I'd love to.
talk more about that?
Love to.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's plan on doing that soon.
As I'm sitting here looking at these numbers, Tim, I'm just listening to what we're doing. Let's look down here at the line 504 and 505. You see those?
Uh-huh.
This is a $200,000 house.
Wow.
The second on there was about $30,000. And look at that, we paid $1,000 for the second.
My goodness.
Yeah, see, we got a $200,000 house for $115,000.
Wow. How much was the first loan?
The first loan was like 180, 175, right in there.
Wow. That's some pretty drastic discount, that's for sure.
Yeah, we created a lot of equity. That was terrific, wasn't it? And our number one goal is we wanted to, number one, save the house from foreclosure and save the seller from having problems.
Right.
And I want to pay the realtor, and I wanted to get that couple in there that's been living in there. They're really nice people. I probably could have sold it for a little more to somebody else, but I think it all turned out really good. We're going to make money on it, and everybody's going to be happy with it.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, it sounds like the buyer's getting a heck of a good deal.
Yeah, heck of a deal.
Yeah, instead of just renting it and having bad credit, because now they can put it on the market and try to sell it for more if they want to make money.
Absolutely.
That's really awesome. Cool. Well, how was the condition of the property?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a perfect house.
Wow. That's
Beautiful
amazing
house.
That's amazing that FMC was able to get the discount down so much. How was the comps in the area?
The comps in the area are a little lower. It's just it's 50 miles away from everything.
Right.
And that's the issue with it.
Gotcha.
It's a really nice house in a nice town. The town's probably got maybe 2,000 people in it. It's a real small town.
Wow.
But these are people that would drive into Dallas and work.
Uh-huh.
And it's just a long ways from everything. So that has taken a bigger hit as far as the marketplace. It's kind of lost some of its value quicker than some of the city properties.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing about Texas is just we have so much land that everything is so spread out. So you have little towns. But that's cool. All right. And anything else about this deal you wanna say? This sounds like a really nice, easy deal.
So it was a nice, easy deal, and our realtor is really aggressive, and she's been doing great work. And I just emailed her today and just put roses on there, question mark, and I get a response from the title company. I get one from the loan company, It's like I get them from everybody. As soon as I say roses, they know what that is. Best money I've ever spent.
Gotcha. And how long did it take them to negotiate this deal?
We're working on about 75 or 80 days, probably.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Okay.
It's less than 90 days.
Right. Okay. That's not bad at all. That's pretty good. All right. Cool. Let me see if there's any questions that came in regarding this deal. Anybody want to ask Dan anything about this particular deal? Just so giving you guys a little bit intro. FMC, which is Corey Boatwright's company, is who we outsource all of our short sale deals to. And I know for I don't remember what all his fees are for the general public. I think he charges like a couple $100 to submit a short sale, and then once the short sale get accepted, he charges he charges another fee on approval, and then he try to get a percentage of his fee out from the mortgage company. As you can see, in this case, he got his fee out of the commission on this deal, and so that's how Corey's company, or FMC, works. For staying on the apprentice students, for the people who are in the apprentice students, we worked out a deal with Corey's company to not charge anything for when we submit well, actually they do charge, but that's a different thing. Basically I'm paying them a monthly retainer fee for which they negotiate all of our short sale leads without charging us anything up front, so they don't get paid from us until until the deal closes, pretty much. All right, let me see. How much did Stan make on this deal? Stan, you're estimating how much?
Well, I'm going to make $20,000 minus my closing costs on the backside, so I'll probably make $14,000-15,000.
Okay. Which part of closing costs are you paying?
On the backside, where I'm selling it to them.
Oh, you're double closing. That's right.
Right,
okay.
I'm double closing, so I'll have transitional funds on the other closing. I'll have a title policy, and I'll have all those fees again, all those escrow fees and recording fees and all that.
Right. Okay. So you're using transactional funding lender to fund the first transaction, and then you're going to double close it and close the second transaction.
Correct.
So then I take that means that USDA doesn't have seasoning of title?
So far it's not been a problem.
Good. Sounds like a winner.
Now, Lawyers is a little bit of stickler about how they want to do this, and what we're going to do is close the first deal pretty early in the morning, and she's going to send that down with a courier down to be filed, and we'll close the last part of it in the afternoon.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds like a good plan. Mina asked, typically how long is the short sale process accomplished? I think 2 to 3 months is very typical. Sometimes it can go longer, to 5 to 6 months, but I think I guess 3 months is pretty typical. Let me see here. What is the fee? What is the short sale fee? Well, like I said, it depends, but if I remember right, it's $200 to submit a short sale. This is for those of you who are not in the apprentice program. It's $200 to submit the short sale, and once they get it approved, I think they charge you $1,000 or something like that. I don't remember it completely.
And Tim, that's way worth it with Corey's group. My closer on this deal, her name is Erica, And when we
Mhm.
started out, we were in the 170s with the lender when we started. Look where we ended up, 115.
Right.
So, whatever I paid her is well worth the money.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's the cool thing about hiring out to companies that specialize in short sales negotiation is they understand the game. They know they know what it takes. They you know, yeah they know what it takes to get these loss mitigator down, and a lot of time they have direct contact with these loss mitigators because they have relationship with them, and so they're able to pull stuff that you might not be able to pull. Okay, let me see here. Uh, I don't understand your question, Richard. How much upfront money did this property accrue as far as FMC Plus? I don't think it cost you anything so far, right, Stan?
Now, as soon as I say, yes, I'll take it, as soon as I agree to it, they charge my credit card. I think they charge us $5.95.
Oh, okay. So far your out of pocket is from FMC for $5.95.
Correct.
Cool. All right. So okay. Um, can you illustrate step by step how the short sale process works? We probably should get Coy on that, or send out the replay. Joshua, can you find the replay that of the webinar we did with Coy, so that way Mina can have access to that, or probably send it out to this whole list so that way they can watch that again. Can we pre-screen short sale deals to filter out deals that take greater than 6 months? No. I wish. That it happened. The reason why a deal would take more than 6 months, or the most common reason why a deal takes more than 6 months, is lenders selling their packages off to another lender. But typically speaking, if they don't sell their package off, or if there's no other complications that arise, like title issues and stuff like that, then it should not take more than 6 months. And I had a case before of a short sale deal, very, very interesting. But so they turned down our short sale offer, and they proceeded with foreclosure. However, right before they were going to foreclose, they sold it to another lender. So we picked it up again and do the short sale again with the new lender that just bought it over and got the short sale accepted. So some of these things just get really weird and funny, but in the end they work out great. So okay. Any other questions regarding this deal? I don't think we have any, so let's move on to the next deal. Stan?
Yes, sir. You're going to talk. Is that the one you're going to put on the screen, or you want me to put it up?
Oh, you can put it up. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I got to go find it.
Oh, okay. If you have to find it, then I'll put it up.
Okay.
Righty then. Let me see here.
Well, this next deal is a house that one of our students is doing.
Hold on real quick. Let me pull it up first.
You go ahead and find it. I'll tell you what we're doing.
I need to become a presenter, so hold on.
Okay.
And make me a presenter. JM, if you need me to adjust my screen down, let me know. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Hello?
I see it.
All right, cool. So, all right, so go ahead, talk about this deal.
Okay, you ready?
Or you want to see this part? It doesn't matter. All right, go ahead.
This is a wraparound mortgage on a house that we're doing, and I just sold it, and I just got the contract completed, about a week ago, maybe 10 days ago, and did the inspection on Sunday. Colleen Doran is the student on this, and she is from St. Paul, Minneapolis area, Minnesota. And she is doing this house. She's never seen it. I've been the bird dog on the house, so I completed all the paperwork for her since she's never done a wraparound mortgage or anything like that. So I did the paperwork for her and
How did she found this deal again?
She found this deal off of Craigslist, off the instant lead generator, Craigslist,
Okay.
off of Do Deals.
Right. Okay. Yeah, they
And
all have access to the instant lead generator. So.
right, and she's really diligent about calling. Again, she lives in Minneapolis and feels very comfortable about working down here in Houston because the infrastructure here is in pretty good shape, and we've got plenty of people to help her. So she has a bunch of deals going down here now. And anyhow, this is one that she's got worked out. It's a beautiful home in Inwood Forest area of Houston, backed up to a golf course, and just a beautiful area. Now, what's happened is the country club and the golf course, the guys that owned that, he died, and his kids didn't want to mess with it anymore. So it's gone into bankruptcy, and the city has taken over some of these fairways and made them into greenway greenbelt areas where they could do some flood control for downstream down the south part of Houston. Anyhow, this is all in the north part of town. Anyhow, the long and short of that is they will always have some kind of a nice greenbelt behind this house that is maintained by the city, and it's a really beautiful area of town. This particular house was in the mid 80s, was an Architectural Digest house, and is a wonderful, beautiful place.
You know what? Let me pull up the street view. Maybe that will
Sure.
that will allow them to see it better. Give me the address.
Oh gosh, you're gonna mess me up here.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I got that.
See it on there?
No, we have.
I just call it Council Grove.
Um,
Hang on, by the time you keep talking, I'll get it.
you gonna find it or what?
Yeah, I got it. Hang on.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
I will.
Yeah, I was just gonna pull up the street view so you guys can see the picture of the house and stuff, and yeah, at the same time I might as well be teaching you guys how to use the tool. But while Stan is doing that, how did I find out about the short sale got sold to another lender? What happened was whenever we work on a short sale, we always check after the foreclosure to see if the house actually got foreclosed on. And we saw that the house did not get foreclosed on yet, and so we contacted the old lender, and they told us that the loan was sold to a new lender, and so we contacted the new lender. So that's how we found that out.
Okay, I just Skyped it to me. You want me to just tell it to you?
What is the address?
5722 Council Grove.
Castle Grove.
Council, COUNCIL, COUN. Go back, Tim. COUNCIL.
COUN. Oh, council. Okay.
Yeah. CIL.
Okay.
Grove. GROVE.
Okay.
Houston.
Mhm.
And it's 77088.
Okay. For some reason, Zillow couldn't find it. I wonder why. But okay. No street view available. Okay. Well, at least we have the satellite map.
Well, anyhow, it's a beautiful home, and you can tell from the angles it's one that the architect who did the subdivision used to live in back in the 80s. It's a really nice place. Uh, the homeowner sold the house for 133, and she got $10,000 down. Out of that 10,000, we took 5, and she took 5, and we're doing a wraparound mortgage with it. So
Okay.
the lady that bought it is going to finance 123,000, and it's got a 6-year balloon on it.
Okay. All right. And all right. So she found it from the instant lead generator. She called them and got the deal negotiated. And I'm pulling up on Zillow here so that way it has a little bit more data. You can see what other houses nearby are value at. But okay. Looks like a pretty decent house. Okay. And yeah, okay, so you know, we were talking about earlier, the seller actually owes a little bit more than what she's selling the house for, right? And because we're selling the well, she's selling the house to us for 100 and I guess you can sort of say 123, but if you add in the 5,000 she's getting, then it'll be 128,000. And just a rough estimate, I think she still owed like about 130-something thousand on it.
Correct.
And yeah, and so what we're doing, what we're doing now is we're selling the property for 133,000, and the buyer's putting $10,000 down. And we're keeping 5,000, and we're giving 5,000 of that down payment to the seller, so that way the seller can use some of that money toward the closing costs of the deal. And the seller has 2 loans on it. There's a first loan that she still, you know, like 100, and it was in 2004, so she probably owes like maybe 115,000 on it or something. And then there's a second loan that she probably owes like maybe 17 or 15,000 bucks or something like that. And so the seller's willing to pay for the difference to sell her house. So she's not exactly like a financially distressed, you know, motivated seller, but from talking to Stan, what's going on with the deal is that is she moving in with her boyfriend, or is it just a friend?
Yeah, I think it's with her girlfriend, but we're not saying anything about it. She's moving in with another party.
Okay. All right, so she's moving in with somebody else, and and so she's letting this house go, and she's been trying to sell it for a while, and she couldn't sell it, so this is her perfect way out of the deal. So, and how did we find this buyer?
We also did on instant lead generator and Craigslist.
Okay.
We also did Craigslist, and she saw one of our houses in Katy. Then we showed her another house, and then she didn't like it very much, so we said, well, we have another one that's a little closer to town, and she fell in love with this house.
Ah, cool. Okay. So you contacted the tenant buyers on the instant lead generator, or did she respond to an ad on Craigslist?
She responded to an ad on Craigslist.
Okay. And all right, so the buyer responded to an ad on Craigslist for a different property in another part of town, and she didn't like that, so you showed her this house, and she liked this one. Correct?
That's correct.
All right, cool. That sounds like an easy deal. And how long has this deal been going on?
We've been working on it for about 30 days probably.
Okay.
And with the ins and outs in it, I mean, the wraparound's been a little bit of a challenge, and she's an attorney. She, being the buyer, is an attorney and extremely busy. So we've been kind of limited to late Saturdays and Sunday mornings. It's about the only time we can get everything put together.
I see. Yeah, and then on top of that, we see here from the title commitment that there's some title issues as well. So why don't you talk about that? I'm going to go down to that part of the title commitment here. I think Pat was
Well, I got this in the mail today again from Amanda up in the Keller area. Again, you know, I'm using a title company that's 200 miles away because the closer's really good to me, and basically will make all of my issues just seem to go away when she's playing with these loans. But what has happened is you've got a deed of trust dated July 24th, 1998, and that particular deed has not been removed. So she's trying to find the title company, Houston Title Company, that did that back in the day. And then there's another vendor's lien on there that has not been removed either. So she's got two small issues with title companies back 20 years ago. She'll deal with that. And then there's a vendor's lien on there that's dated April 1st, 2004. And what happened is that Hurricane, well, this particular one is this is the second lien, that number 7, and number 8 is a mechanic's lien, March 6, 2009. So what happened is Hurricane Ike came through in September and October, whenever that was last year. This house has got a tile roof on it, a Spanish tile roof on it, and she got the roof fixed and paid the roofers, and the roofers need another piece of paper signed so they can get paid from the insurance company. And for some reason they just missed it, or she missed it, or I'm not sure what happened, but bottom line is the roofers filed a lien on the property, and I emailed her today and said, hey, we got a mechanic's lien on here, what's up with that? And she was not mad about it, but she was a little bit stunned that she's going, gee, I paid these guys everything I was supposed to pay them. So they forwarded the piece of paper now that the insurance company needs, and she has signed off of that and emailed it back. So that lien itself will go away also.
okay. Right, and so you know, once she squared this away with the insurance company and the roofer, then the roofer is going to release this lien, and that's going to go away. And then on the old lien that was supposed to be paid off by Houston Title Company, what's going to happen is if they can't find that lien payoff, the way title company works between each other is that the lawyer's title, which is Stan's title company, is going to get Houston Title Company to sign a sheet of paper saying that if there's ever a problem with this lien, then that is Houston Title Company is the one responsible for it. So this is not something that we have to worry about at all. Whenever there's another title company involved, then the title companies will sign documents between each other, so this is a really easy problem to fix. This other one here with the mechanic lien, then it might be just a little bit harder to fix because you have to get the right document to the insurance company, and then the insurance company has to get the right document to the roofing company, and then have to send, if the roofing company hasn't gotten a check yet, send a check to the roofing company, and then he'll be happy and he'll release his lien. But based on the info, it doesn't look like there should be a problem. It looks like it's going to be clear out pretty well. So you're going to run across deals with title issues like this that's going to hold up the deal a little bit, okay? And if it's a big title a big title issue, then it might hold the deal up, more than just a little bit. But regardless, this is how we make our money. We make our money by solving these by solving these challenges. By solving these challenges and allow the deal to go through, and so so that's how we get rewarded for it, and that's how we get paid handsomely for it, for the special expertise that we have that a normal home buyers don't have, and a normal home buyer would have a much harder time to solve these kind of issues and buy the property from these sellers. And so that's why that's how we come in and make our money. Now, just looking at looking at what Zillow is saying the value is. Zillow is saying the value is worth $155,000. Cyberhome says is 106. ePraiser says 112. The tax appraisal says 154. 2008 tax appraisal. Did you run comps? You know what the comps is on this thing?
Yeah, it's in the 150s. It's a nice place.
Okay. So even the comp saying 150. So like if Stan and Colleen really wanted to make more money on this deal, the way they could do it is they could do a sandwich wraparound mortgage, and what that means is that they could buy it on a wrap and they can sell it on a wrap, and stay in the game. So let's say let's do a different scenario. All right. So let's say Stan says, you know what, I want to make some more money on this deal. Rather than selling it for $133,000, I want to sell it for $153,000. Okay. So the buyer's still going to put $10,000 down, and now the buyer owes $143,000 on the house, and Stan owes to the seller $123,000 on the property. So that means that whenever the buyer goes and refinance this deal, I believe, Stan, you told me that you're doing a 6-year balloon on this? That's correct. All right, what that means, folks, is that anytime from now until 6 years from now, and with the maximum of 6 years, that means that the buyer must refinance this loan out, okay, by the 6 year comes when it balloons. And so if Stan wanted to make extra money on this, he can get his down payment now, and then in 6 years when the buyer refinanced this property, or let's say in 3 years the buyer decides to sell this house to someone else, then Stan can have another $20,000 that would be coming to him on top of the down payment that he's getting paid now on the deal. So now, of course, the more you stay in the game, the more risk that is involved, and so you make more money, but there's more liabilities now, because you are responsible to the seller to make the payments on the house. So if your buyer doesn't pay you, you're still responsible to the seller. Okay. Versus if you just go do this deal, you get in, you get out, you get paid. Then if the buyer doesn't pay somewhere down the road, then it's between the buyer and the seller. You have nothing to do with that. Okay. And so for that extra $20,000 that Stan can make on this deal, he just has to be willing to deal with that fact, and deal with that risk that, hey, if the buyer doesn't pay, I am going to be responsible to the seller and pay them and put another buyer into the property. So you just have to do it again, and you sell the property again, which is really not a big deal. And of course you can make an arrangement with the seller too, and says, hey, look, I'll sign an affidavit with you saying that if for whatever reason my buyer doesn't pay me, that you allow me not to have to pay you until I put a new buyer into the house. So that way, whenever the house is vacant, you don't have to make any mortgage payment to the seller. You still owe them that amount while it's vacant, but you don't have to make any mortgage payment to them. And then when a new buyer comes in and gives you some down payment, then you can pay her the back payments that you owed her, and then start making monthly payments from there. So there's many ways you can negotiate the deal and make it work. These sellers are motivated, so at this point, she's probably saying yes to whatever you want to say, huh, Stan?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Is there anything else about this deal that you want to share?
No, not really. I think that's about it on this one.
Okay, and Okay, RC asked, is this a deal from a mentoring student, from a mentoring student or an apprentice student? The answer is yes. It's from one of our apprentice students. And she's in where?
She's in St. Paul, Minnesota.
St. Paul, Minnesota. And this deal is in Houston. So she's doing this virtually. Okay. All right, Kathy asked another question. How is an offer written if you intend to find another buyer prior to closing? Unless the end buyer is going to make a cash offer, then there will be a problem with seasoning. How would you get around this? I am not Kathy, are you talking about this owner financing deal, or are you talking about the last short sale deal? If you're talking about this owner financing deal, the seller's the one financing it, so who cares about seasoning of title? And you know, and so that would be irrelevant. And also the owner has owned it since 2004, so there wouldn't be a seasoning of title issue. Now, since you're talking about the short sale deal earlier, is that this lender that the buyer is getting, they don't require seasoning of title, and so that's the reason why that Stan's able to get that deal moving forward. Okay. So let me see. Anyone else have? Yeah. So on short sale deals, when you first make an offer, the answer is yes. You're going to make a cash offer to the lender, and then whenever you find a buyer, you're going to double close it. So you're going to close the first transaction, pay them off, and then close on the second transaction. Okay. Let me see here. All right. Anyone else have questions regarding this deal? I mean, this is a very typical wraparound mortgage deal. So, so you really should write notes about what just happened, and so that way you can learn from it and duplicate it. And I'll run through it real quick so you can see how the deal went from the beginning to the end. So step number one was Colleen used the instant lead generator, sent out emails. Did she call, or did she send out emails and then call?
She does both, but on this particular one, she called.
Okay, so on this particular deal, what Colleen did was she used the instant lead generator, look up the motivated seller leads, and call them up. Okay, and she got she negotiated an owner financing deal with the owner. Okay, and then in this particular case, since she's out of town, she used Stan. She used you as the bird dog, or someone else as the bird dog?
I'm the bird dog here.
Okay. All right, so in this particular case, Stan is the bird dog on this deal, and so Stan went out, take a look at the property and stuff, and got the contract signed, and then she then used the instant lead generator to send out emails. She also posted the ad on Craigslist, not on this property, but on a different property for sale. And since the buyer didn't like the other property, Stan ended up showing the buyer this property. Was the property in Katie Colleen's property also, or
that was Jacob's property, one of our other apprentice students.
Okay, so the Katie property wasn't even Colleen's property, but as you make your phone calls, you're gonna get several deals going. So you're gonna have several ads running, and so that way whenever your buyer doesn't like one property, you can show them another property and sell it to them, which is exactly what happened in this case. So the buyer ended up not liking the other property, wanted something closer to town, and so Stan showed her this property. And how did you decide to sell it at $133,000, Stan?
Basically, we were just trying to find a number where that the buyer had the cash to put down,
Mm-hmm.
and she had about 10,000 to put down, and that's how we came to that number.
Gotcha. Okay, so basically, they decided 133 because it's $10,000 more than 123, which is what Colleen has into the deal. The agreement with the seller. So the buyer says, I got 10,000 down, so we'll sell to you for 133. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So now the only thing we're waiting on is clearing out the title issues and move forward to get to the title company and do the closing. That's pretty much it. Okay. Now, at the title company, on top of all of the normal documents that the seller and the buyer are going to sign, the title company also had these documents, sort of like this CYA type letters for the seller to sign, because a wraparound mortgage is similar to a subject to existing financing, where you're selling the property without without paying off the existing loan, and you keep the loan in place. And so the title company wants the seller to sign this acknowledgement. Basically, it says right here, seller provided figure statement, acknowledgement, and hold harmless. So you are hereby, to title company, you are hereby instructed that this escrow is to be closed and the title is to be transferred subject to the liens of existing deed of trust without notice to beneficiary, meaning without notice to the mortgage company. Were these instructions not given, title company would obtain a statement of condition from the beneficiary. Title company is instructed to accept the following statement by seller regarding the balance and terms of the loan. Seller hereby provides and warrants the following figures and information. So basically, the name of the lenders, how much they owed, what the interest rate is, what the monthly payment is, what's the next payment due, all of that good stuff that's going to be filled out. Okay, and in this seller's case, where the seller has two loans, so the seller's going to have to sign two of these. Okay, because each one of these only take one lender. Okay, and then so that's Exhibit A, and then they also have Exhibit. What happened? I can't go to the next page. Okay, Exhibit B, which is the due on sale disclosure and hold harmless. So basically, it says blah blah blah. This property has a due on sale clause. That means that if the lender finds out and decide to call this loan due, meaning to foreclose on this property, that the buyer or the seller has to to refinance the property and cash that lender out, and they cannot hold the title company responsible for that. Okay, and so so both the sellers and the buyer have to sign this. Now, the chance of wraparound mortgage and subject to, it's a common type of ways you do deals, and contract for deed is the exact same way. So if you were doing a contract for deed, a very similar document is also going to have to be signed. And these type of deals have been done for many years, for many decades already. So it's not anything new. And the chance of the lender calling these loans due is very slim. Okay. Probably to zero, unless the seller decides to stop making mortgage payments, at which point the lender would then foreclose on the property and get it back. But in this case, the chance of the lender foreclosing it is going to be extra slim, especially when the seller owes way too much on the property. Now in cases where the seller has a lot of equity on the property, like let's say the seller only owes $10,000 on this house, right? And the seller's selling it for $33,000 or $123,000. Then there's a possibility that the lender might call the loan due is because they have so much equity, and if they can foreclose on it, they'll make a killing on it. But still, even in those kind of cases, I mean, it's rare that lenders ever call loans due because they're not in the business of foreclosing. They're not in the business of holding properties. They just want to make the interest pay. Yeah, just make the interest. And so, as long as the person who has the mortgage on this making the monthly payments every month, so that way the lender can earn their interest. That's what they are happy about, And then the Exhibit B1 here is the continuation of that due and sell. So the seller and the buyer will have to sign this, and then there's also another document called the seller's affidavit of mortgage status, basically saying that I have this loan and this loan is not in default. That everything is current on this loan, and we're selling this loan right here. See that under a wraparound transaction. So similar documents and when you close out title companies, you don't need to worry too much about these documents because your title company is going to have their own set of documents that they're going to want your seller and your buyer to sign. And so if you have these documents, they may or may not use these because they might want to use their own with their own language that was drafted by their own attorney. Okay. So there you have it. Stan, you wanted to add anything to that?
Not to that, no, sir.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Stan. You're more than welcome to stay on. But if you have to go, you are welcome to do that as well. We're going to end this call pretty soon here.
I'm going to go do my other webinar. Get ready for that at 7. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Well, thanks a lot, buddy.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Everybody says thank you to Stan.
Bye. Yeah. See ya. Bye bye.
All right. See ya. Okay. All right. So let me see. Carol asked. Where can I find the instant value estimator? Go to values.dodeals.com. Values.dodeals.com. Okay. Values.dodeals.com. And check that out. Sometimes on this instant value estimator, Zillow will report like two different or more than one results. So they have one result here that shows 0, and then you have another result here that shows 155. Just take the one that they give a higher result. Okay. So. Let me see here. How is the agreement for deed different from a contract for deed? Agreement for deed, contract for deed, land contract, those are all the same thing. It's just different terminology, but they're all the same. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to now go through this real quick here. And JM, I know I'm probably totally messing up your view here, buddy, but you are just going to have to bear with me. I'll try to minimize it where it fits the center thing here. Okay. Basically the way Stan is doing these this transaction, it's called a release of equitable interest clause. Okay. So Stan and Colleen got this property under contract for $123,000. Okay. And it's an owner financing contract, okay? And the well, actually, let me say it this way. It probably would be easier for you to understand. 128,000, and the contract with the buyer is 133,000. Okay, So he's going to do a release, and then they're going to do a new contract. So, why can't I? Oops. Right. Sorry. Trying to get this to work for you. All right. And so. Okay. All right. So this is what happens on the deal. So, so initially, Colleen got a flex option for $128,000 on this deal. Okay. And let me see, I should add in an agreement here for 10K down and 120K loan. Okay, so maybe we should put it up here. All right. So Colleen got a flex option for $128,000, and she went and found a buy, and she found a buy that's going to put $10,000 down, and she's supposed to pay the seller $5,000 from the down payment. So she probably agreed with the seller that they'll split the down payment, and that's why I adjusted for 128 and not 123. And so what happens now is they're going to then raise the price to $133,000 between Colleen and the buyer, and then do a new contract between the original seller and the buyer for $133,000. Okay, with the buyer is going to put $10,000 down and have a remaining loan of $123,000. And at closing, what's going to happen is the seller and the buyer is going to close together, so there's no double closing here. Okay, and Stan and Colleen are going to invoice the seller for a release of equitable interest for $5,000, which came from the down payment. Okay, and that $5,000 goes to the is going to go to Colleen and Stan. Okay, and and that's pretty much it. I don't think they recorded the affidavit and memorandum of contract on this deal. He didn't mention it to me, but it's the memorandum of memorandum of contract is an optional thing. It's not a require, and so that's pretty much. I mean, this particular deal, it really is as simple as you are hearing it. All right. So what I need you to do. So what I need you to do is do your homework and send out emails using the instant lead generator. Call those sellers up, both the motivated sellers as well as the landlords, as well as the owner financing sellers. Okay, call them up, email them, talk to as many as you can, and put this deal together. All right. Let me see here. So equitable interest originated from which document? The equitable interest is a new document that we it's not a document. It's actually an invoice, like an Excel filed invoice that we give to the title company to release our interest from this contract right here between us and the seller. All right. So we're releasing the contract. We're releasing the seller from our contract with them, so that way they can go into contract between the original seller and the end buyer. Okay. Do we always have to file the affidavit? The answer is no. Or any contract signed between us and the seller? The answer is no. If I live outside U.S., what do I have to do? You can send if you live outside the city, like if Colleen wanted to record the affidavit and memorandum, she could have just sent it to the Harris County Clerk's office, and they'll record it and send the original document back to her. And so if you're out of states or if you're out of the country, then you just send it you send the affidavit to whatever the county clerk that the property is in. Okay. Do I have to do a limited power of attorney to somebody who lives in the area? How can I do that? No, you don't have to sign a power of attorney over to somebody in the area unless you want them to sign all of your paperwork for you. But if you're going to sign the paperwork, then what the title company is going to do is they're going to email you the paperwork. You're going to sign it, get it, notarize it, and then overnight it back to them, like FedEx or yeah, some whatever way that you'll be able to track that. Okay. Okay, let me see here. How fast does a deal like this take to close? Well, this deal that Stan is working on, Stan and Colleen are working on right now, he said it's about 30 days right now. And from the time that Colleen first found the deal to now where they're getting ready to go to the title company, and the reason why this deal is taking this long, a lot of it has to do with the title issue that we're having to clear out. So as soon as we clear out that title, then this deal is ready to close. So at a maximum, this deal is going to take 45 days to close. That's the maximum. These deals can close as quick as, the soonest these deals going to close is 1 week, okay? But 2 to 4 weeks is pretty common. Okay, like, and I'm talking about from the time that you find a deal, to the time that you find a buyer, to the time that the buyer's going to put down the down payment, and like the whole way through. Okay, which is actually pretty fast. Okay. Do you have a sample on due deals of an invoice as well as the purchase contract? Yeah, I think in the bonus section of due deals, you should be able to download those. They're also in your forms disk too. If you have access to the forms disk, just download that zip file. They're also in there as well. Okay. Is there replays I can listen to? The answer is John. The answer is yes. Every week we have replays, so you guys can always listen to it. Thanks, Joshua, for helping me answer those stuff. Okay, let me see here. Can we use your title company to close because I'm having trouble with mine? The answer is yes, Richard, you can. Would we have to deal with title seasoning issues? The answer is no, RC, you do not. Not with owner financing type deals. Because on owner financing type deals, the person that's approving this loan is the seller. So why would the seller say, oh, you're buying it from me, so there's seasoning title issues? Of course not, right? So there's no seasoning of title issues with these deals. That's the one thing I love about owner financing type deals, is there's a lot less factors that you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about the lender approving the loan for the buyer. You don't have to worry about seasoning of title. You don't have to worry about many things. Okay, and you don't even have to close at the title company if you didn't want to. You can do this as a kitchen kitchen table close. It's just that it's more secure. It's more secure for the buyer to close out a title company so they can get title insurance, and so they can, like, for example, being able to pull up all of these title issues and get them clear. So this is the benefit of closing with a title company. If you close on your own, then you have to do your own title search and make sure that you're confident with your title search, and you don't get any title insurance. Kathy asked what address for the September seminar going to be held at in Houston. Any hotels you recommend? Let me see. Jersham, Jersham, can you reply to that to give her both the address and the hotel? And I gave the hotel information to Bernard, so you can get that. Okay. And I'm happy to. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the seminar, Kathy. Would this replay be available by tomorrow? The answer is yes. Okay. Yes. Make sure you watch this replay over and over and over again, so that way you can see how this deal went down. This is a real live deal that's going on right now, folks. Okay. And so it's a really good case study for you to see that. Okay. Can you recommend us a title company that can work nationwide without any problems for assignment and or double closing, even for non-Americans? I guess Julio, we can connect you with the same title company that Stan is using, and try her out. Almost any title company can close nationwide. What they do is they have courtesy closing, or they have other branches of the same brand in other areas that can help them close. All right. John said, Tim, I have hired 2 different VAs. Not one of them have done any deal. What do I do now? John, what are they doing for you, buddy? Okay, let me unmute you. Hold on here. All right. Jersham, can you send lawyer's title contact info from Stan over to Julio, please? Or ask Amy for it to send over to Julio, please. All right, John, hold on. I'm going to unmute you, buddy. Where is my attendance view? Okay, here you go. John. Are you there? Yeah, I can hear you. Awesome. So tell me about these VAs you hired, and what have they been doing for you?
Well, Tim, it's kind of like this. I hired the first VA full-time, and we were unable to close any deals whatsoever. After about a month of not having any kind of productivity or any positive productivity, I let that person go. I hired my second VA, and so far we're following along the same path. I'm just, I don't know, Tim, I guess I'm very discouraged at this point, and I think I'm getting the idea that maybe I should just do everything myself. That's a good question. Why did you decide to start with the VAs without doing this yourself to sort of learn the rope first, so you can train your VA how to do it? Well, I did a few myself, and then because of my time constraints, I thought it'd be smarter to have someone do this for me and more productive to do this for me.
Are you doing this part-time then?
Yes, I just logged on, so I just got off work.
I see. Okay, got it. All right, so I understand your situation better. So, what have you taught these VAs to do, and what have they been doing?
Well, that's a good question. I was under the impression that they already knew how to go ahead and use your system.
Okay.
So perhaps that was my first mistake. I don't know.
Right.
They certainly knew the way around your website, so I was comfortable with that.
Where did you hire them from?
Let's see. I think her name was Kelly. Was the supervisor for these people. I don't even have the name of the place that I hired. It was someplace that was recommended to me. So anyway, they were recommended to me, so that's the place I went to.
Okay.
But anyway, long story short, I'm at my rope's end. I don't know what to do next, unless I just start just doing everything myself and not relying only on my own self with anybody else.
Well, I mean, there are two parts to it. I would like to see you do it yourself, even if you're doing it a little bit part-time, and at the same time, you can have them do it. So this way, you are experiencing firsthand, and you can help them make corrections, okay? Regardless of what any VA say, I mean, if they're not trained by us, they might not know how to do it. They could just tell you they know how to do it, but like not really know how to do it. And so it's good if you're doing it, so you can ask them, well, are you doing this? Are you doing this? So making sure you know exactly what they are doing, and if you can, for example, like you can use something like GoToMeeting. You can sign up a free trial account with GoToMeeting, or you can use Adobe Connect Now. Okay, if it's just 2 people, it's free, and so they can share you their screen, they can make phone calls, they can send out emails, and you can see everything that they are doing on their computer, right? And you can hear how they're making their calls, so that way, so that way you can see if they're doing it right. And on top of that, you need to hold them accountable and give you a daily report of what they did, how many emails they sent out, how many calls they sent out, how many calls they made that day, how many flex options they emailed to sellers, how many flex options they got back. At a minimum, at a minimum, you want them to have a quota of at least, if they're working for you full time, they should be able to get at least one flex option back for you every 2 days. Okay, that would be at a minimum. 3 days would be
Worst case scenario.
And in the beginning, I can understand, like the first week, in the first week they're not able to get a flex option back to you every 2 days. However, after a couple weeks, all of those flex options that they sent out in previous weeks are now gonna be coming in, and they can follow up on those leads. And so, so at a minimum, you want to require at least a couple flex options. So that way, after 2 weeks and they haven't gotten any flex option for you, you can go ahead and fire them and bring on another person.
I see.
Yeah. So that way you're not wasting too much money, too much time. But you want to use, so let me type it in. Go to, it's called Adobe Connect Now, okay? And the free version, Adobe Connect Now, the free version. I think Connect Now might be one word.
Okay.
So that way you can see their screen, very similar to the way you see my screen right now. And the way you can hear me talk to people, it's very similar to this. And so you can see what they're doing, how they're doing it, what emails they're sending out, who they're sending it out to, and what they're saying. So that way you can better correct them. And make sure you have... Say that again?
I'll give that a try.
Yeah. So a lot of time, as a business owner, a lot of time employees don't work out, not because they're not good people. A lot of times they don't work out is because us as business owners don't give them adequate training to do their job correctly, and don't have good accountability to check on their progress.
Point well taken. Yes.
Yeah. So make sure you get that part in place. Sounds good?
Tim, thank you very much.
You're welcome, buddy. Good talking to you.
You bet.
All right. Okay, that was a good one. Let me see here. All right. Okay, everybody. Well, that's going to be That's going to be it for this call. We'll wrap it up now. Make sure you watch this replay, watch it over and over, and let this deal be a part of you, and understanding it through. Go out there, do your homework, man. Do something. Send out your emails, make your calls. I think Colleen is committing to making 50 calls a day, and so you might want to you might want to pick up that habit and commit to that. I'm going to make 50 calls a day, all right? And maybe you can even, if you want, go the extra mile. Say I'm going to commit to, sending out 50 emails and make 50 calls. Whatever. I mean, as much as you can, okay? And if you're at work and you can't make calls, then send out more emails, okay? On your lunch break, on your break, send out more emails. Don't use up your employer's time, of course, because I'm an employer, so I know how that goes. But on your breaks and stuff, fully utilize that, okay? Okay, and you have one last question there, John, but I don't understand it. Tim, how is the short sale doing? Not sure what that means. Short sales are doing great right now. It's one of the you're crazy not to be doing short sales in today's market. Okay, so it's doing really well. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Have an awesome day, an awesome evening, an awesome week, and I will talk to you more next week. Okay, next week. And John, check the instant lead generator and call the short sale leads from the instant lead generator. All right, everybody. You have an awesome week. Talk to you later. Bye bye.